established rich coming right back at you. And listen, today we talking about Pooh Shiesty and his lawyer, Bradford Cohen. But more importantly, we talking about strategy. Because in a federal case, every word matters. And right now, his lawyer is saying a lot. Now let's start with the moment that set the tone. Bond denied, no walking out. No second chance at freedom, at least for now.
We didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more.
Now, watching his energy, listen to how he's framing it. He ain't quiet. He ain't reserved. He's active. He's public. And that's where the questions start. Because most defense attorneys move different. They wait. They study. They review discovery. They build a case in silence. But this right here, this feels different. This feels like a press run. Now, let's get into what he's saying. His main argument is simple. No physical evidence, no contract, no video of the crime. And he's calling the government's case sloppy. Now, on the surface, that sounds strong. If you don't have the weapon and you don't have the footage, that creates doubt. But here's the other side. The government don't always need that. They have witnesses, they have statements, they have cell phone data, they have location tracking, and most importantly, they have time. Federal cases are built slow, detailed, methodical. So while he's attacking what the government's missing, the government is building on what's there. Now, here's where I gotta stop, because this is the part that don't make no sense to me. How are you speaking this confidently without even having discovery? How do you know everything they have if you haven't seen everything they have? That's a gamble. And when you gamble with a federal case, you betting with somebody else's life. Now, let's go deeper. He starts addressing details that sound even more questionable, like his going to Staples argument.
So I want to now go into a specific piece of alleged evidence about your client that was part of this filing, and it was purportedly used, to as support for the arrest. And so it says, the complaint claims that your client was wearing an ankle monitor because he was serving a sentence, like you mentioned, the prior case, these federal charges, I believe drug and weapons charges, and he was sentenced to home detention. He had to wear an electronic monitoring device. And they say that authorities were able to allegedly use the location data from that device to seemingly track his apparent movements near the crime scene. And I believe they say that the ankle monitor was used to track him and William Sr. to a Staples, and the allegation was there that they went to a Staples early in the day to print off that agreement, to print off the contractual release paperwork that they say they were forcing RD to later sign. And the feds also claim that the surveillance video and the GPS data, they put them there. So talk to me about the ankle monitor.
Sure. First, let me just address the Staples thing. Like, I don't even care if they're at Staples. Like, they're going to a recording studio, and normally my clients usually print off the lyrics for different individuals. If you have 5 individuals that are going to be on one record and they each have a section or a part, they'll usually print those things off. So I really didn't care about the Staples thing.
Now, come on, dawg. In 2026, we know these rappers ain't writing no damn lyrics. Most rappers today, they punch in line by line, straight off the top. So to say they went to Staples to print lyrics, you gotta be kidding me. That don't even sound real. And when your defense don't sound believable, it's gonna hurt you more than it helps you. Now let's talk about the Rolex.
They got robbed of their Rolexes, their cash, their jewelry. At one point, Gucci Mane was even basically forced to sign a release from a record label.
He's saying there's a receipt for the Batman Rolex that was on the Instagram photo. There's a box. There's proof of purchase. So how can it be stolen if it was bought? And that is a fair question. But again, we back to the same issue. What does the government have that you're not saying? Because they don't bring these cases without something strong. Now let's address the elephant in the room, Gucci Mane. He even spoke about it on his song Crash Dummy.
The truth, you went out like a real crash dummy. And after all that, why you still signed to me? I'm like Birdman and nigga, this my cash money. And your fat ass flunky, he a stone cold junkie.
Then multiple times in the song, he describes them setting him up.
I always keep my head up. I thought it was a business meeting, but it was a setup. I walk in the room, you can feel the pressure building. Niggas got me up the whole time they plotting against me.
And then he goes on to say this.
Disguises, you play stupid games, then you win stupid prizes. Some people like to take a nigga kindness for weakness. I pulled up on business, but y'all was on some weak shit.
Mind you, he dropped this song after the internet found out he actually did give a statement to police about Pooh Shiesty and them robbing him and naming them. Now, no matter how you feel, one thing's for certain, that man's definitely going to take the stand.
Bradford Cohen basically said he does not see that song as evidence. And legally, he right. A song is not a confession, but culturally, it does matter because it shapes perception and it could influence jurors. And it keeps the story in the public eye. Now, let me bring this all together. What we watching right now is a defense being built in public, not just in the court, but on camera, on interviews, on platforms. And that can be dangerous because every time you speak, you reveal something. Every time you argue, you show your hand. And the government is watching every one of his interviews. Now, here's my position. This don't feel like a pure defense strategy. This feels like personal branding, too.
Here we are. Brad Cohen, this guy, Jordan. That's my my nephew and assistant. More my nephew because I had to hire him. Not very good assistant.
It's debatable, but
This is really not debatable. He's horrible.
again, once it's debatable, but we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
This feels like an attorney building his name off a high-profile case. And ain't nothing wrong with being known, but there is something wrong if it costs your client. Because at the end of the day, this ain't about you. This is about him. This is about Pooh Shiesty's freedom. This is about years of his life. And in a federal case, it ain't no room for second guessing. No room for performance. Just facts and results. Now I'ma land it like this. The defense is talking, the government is building. And soon, we gonna see which one holds more weight, words or evidence. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich, I'll be back with another one. Peace.